So let's catch up. What's happening with all things Ranger?
So Ranger, the Vashon aircraft Ranger is definitely, pardon the pun, taking off. We now have 56 in the field, 4 in production right now. So by the end of the year, we'll have 60 Rangers in the field. Okay. And that's over the stretch of 3.5 years. So we consider that a success story. Last year for 2020, we were the #1 LSA producer in the world. So we got 21 light sport aircraft out in the market. So we were the #1 producer in the world. Okay. Mm-hmm. The main changes that we've made to the aircraft have been primarily cosmetic. The biggest one that you'd see would be the windscreen. We redesigned that. The main gear, we actually moved that up about 2 inches. And then we did make a modification to our pitot tube. So a lot of that is just kind of cosmetic stuff. In terms of main changes to the airframe, we haven't done anything that would change any of the performance numbers of the aircraft since we got it certified. Customers have been talking to us about minor things, primarily on the inside, that we could do to improve in there. And we're definitely taking all those to heart, and we're actually making a number of those changes. The biggest one that's coming down the pike right now is we're putting a dedicated knob panel in the panel itself, so there's going to be dedicated knobs in there for the autopilot to change the altitude, barometric pressure, and the headings. So those are the biggest changes that are happening.
Which panel have you gone with?
So we've gone with the Dynon Skyview HDX, and then earlier this year we started doing an IFR equipped Ranger, and that one has the Dynon Skyview HDX system as well as the Garmin 650XI.
Where are you finding most of these aircraft getting placed? Are they personal? Are they training? What have you?
So up until this point, it's been primarily personal. But with the introduction of the Cascade model, flight schools are definitely showing a lot of interest in that. And the Cascade model is the IFR-equipped one. They can train sport pilot, private, instrument, commercial, and ATP all in one aircraft.
So what's next?
A four-seat version.
Had to be.
Yeah, exactly. That one's still about 2 to 3 years out, but the 4-seat version is the next version of the Ranger.
Are you pretty much set on the details on that, or are you kind of waiting for the mosaic amalgam to finally take form?
Yes, it really comes down to the mosaic, and that is going to be a huge game changer for the Ranger itself, because that's going to definitely raise the maximum gross weight. But in terms of directly where we go with the 4-seat version, it really does come down to that. Yes, I mean we're anticipating certain changes and we're engineering towards that, but in terms of the finished product, it's really going to come down to what the FAA says we can do.
How do you think you now fit in an industry that has been building itself over a decade now with the current definitions, and of course new definitions are coming around the corner. But where do you see yourself placed in all this?
I would say quite honestly we're at the top of the field with that, because we never manufactured this airplane or designed this airplane to be a light sport airplane. We designed it to be an airplane. In terms of all the capabilities, tolerances of the airplane, they're right up against the Cessna 152s and Cessna 150s, that kind of thing. So even when the mosaic changes come around, we're already at the top of the heap. It's just like, okay, fine. It's just an exercise in paperwork at that point for us.
Kurt, we thank you much, and one of these days we're going to need to get out and go flying.
Completely on board with that. Thanks, Jim.
Much appreciated.
Whether you're charting a steady course or pushing for the ceiling, Hartzell Propeller has been elevating flight for over 100 years. It's in our passion for engineering and research. It's in our dedication to testing the limits of performance and creating propellers that are as safe as they are sexy. Now, together with our dedicated family of companies, we're propelling the future of aviation. We are Hartzell Propeller, built on honor.